I want to talk to Marcos. Did we do it? Did we do it, Marcos? Did we do it like you wanted us to do it? I mean, I want you to say, listen, on Monday so eloquently how Devin put hands on him in a way that they said wasn't going to happen, Marcos. Can you believe it? Dominating Brian Norman at 147 pounds, Michelle. I mean, the sky's the limit.
Devin Haney, talk to me about Devin Haney. How impressed were you with his performance?
I mean, look, you got to give him the credit because he's become a 3-division world champion, but it's just not good to watch. He doesn't want to engage. He doesn't, which is right, you know. I mean, but you know, they're not happy with my comments because I just said the truth. Like, he doesn't look. He's his eyes wide open the whole fight. Like, and he was always been a smart technical fighter, but look, he beat an undefeated fighter and he became world champion. So credit to him.
Conor Benn, how does Conor Benn beat someone like him who, like you said, does not want to get hit?
Look, he's not easy to beat because he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to, and that's smart. Like, I'm not saying, but it's just not, you know. It's not like, oh, you wouldn't put your guys in with him because you can't beat him. He's difficult to beat because he doesn't want to engage. He's holding, he's grabbing, he's not doing anything. I mean, after he dropped Brian Norman really heavily, all he had to do was step on him. He would have stopped him. It would have been a great performance. But I'm just saying, people are watching that. You know.
Eddie Hearn, hey mate, is that so much for Bill and Devin only wanting the money? I mean, Eddie, you said that he was a little gun shy. I mean, it seems like he shot a lot of bullets tonight, Eddie. Yeah. Meet you at the hotel, mate. Talk to you. Tell me everything about it.
Yeah, I think that's probably what set the tone that made him maybe not want to punch. Because I always say, if anybody listen to me, I always tell you, power is what make you, not fight like you fight. You understand what I'm saying? You just made me think about that. So that might have been what it was that had him not wanting to punch. That might have been what it was that had him not wanting to throw like he threw or whatever else. Because after the knockdown, after that round, I felt like he was fine. Like he was the same. Talking to him in the corner, he was alert. He could do the things he could do or whatever else. Like I said, to me, it just wasn't firing on the cylinders. Maybe somewhere in the back of his mind, the knockdown got to him. I don't know. But as far as the fight itself, after the knockdown, I think he was fine.
You know what's sitting there at 147, what would be probably the fight you would lean towards the most from your son?
Damn, Michelle, just because it's you and I ain't said it to nobody else. And Garcia, for real, and Henry. Well,
So is that Conor Benn then? That's a big money fight over in the UK. If you guys went over to the UK.
Listen, that will be, no, he's not a champion though, huh? No, I don't. No. He has to get a belt or something.
Devin would obviously be able to unify if he fought the winner of Barrios and Garcia.
Oh yeah. If he got a belt, then of course that sounds good. I mean, I don't know if going over there with our belt for him is the move. I don't know. But like I said, let Devin enjoy the night, and let's have some real strategies next week and give you something real.
Lewis Art for the Ring magazine here with Brian Norman Jr. Not your night tonight against Devin Haney. Just sum up to me the thoughts and feelings a couple minutes, I guess, after the fight.
Sure, it's a part of that game. That's what I signed up for. But y'all best believe y'all gonna see me again real soon.
Yeah. Was there anything that Devin done that surprised you today?
No, not really. Not at all. It was all on my end.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, there was the knockdown as well. What was going through your mind at that moment when it happened?
Sure, keep going. That's all it was. Of course, I got caught with something, most of a flash knockdown. But I got right back up, got right back into the action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously, just speaking there about the headbutt as well. Did that cause a problem for yourself, would you say?
Slightly. I mean, when I felt the headbutt, it was like, hey, it is what it is. I think it was like around 10, 11, or 12. It was close to the end, so I said, hey, you don't need to see anyway. Just keep throwing punches. So that was the whole game plan when I got caught with the headbutt.
How much do you feel like you learned, from this fight?
Learned a lot about myself. That's all that matters. I learned a lot.
Well, I guess, what was it like being in the ring with Devin? I know you said there was nothing that done it surprised.
Yeah,
but
just another guy, just another opponent. Of course, he was the better man, but it's just, this is what I do.
Mm-hmm. How much, I guess, does this spur you on, I guess, for the future now?
One more time.
How much does that spur you on for the future now, wanting to win a world title once again?
Oh yeah, I'm alive. He gonna see me again real soon.
Okay. Look, Brian, Appreciate the time, as always. Good to chat to you. And obviously, appreciate the time throughout this build-up as well. It's been brilliant. So,
appreciate you.
I guess just on that as well, how's it been special to be a part of a massive fight for yourself on a big stage? How was that been?
It was cool. I mean, this is what I do for a living. This is what I love to do as a passion. So that part, I wasn't really thinking about it that much. It was just about throwing hands.
Yeah. Before I do let you go, have you got a message, I guess, to the fans and you've gained a lot of new fans now. I guess any message to the fans? Or?
I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and you best believe I'm still here. This ain't stopping nothing. Matter of fact, I'm coming back even harder, and y'all gonna see about me real deal soon, and he gonna see about me real deal soon as well.
Brilliant. Appreciate it.
Well, that first scorecard was 15-13?
114-113.
Man, listen, whoever that judge was, I didn't catch the name. Whoever had that scorecard, 114-113, bro, come on, you got to sit down.
WBO welterweight champion.
The judge, I didn't hear the name. The judge that had it 114-113, you have to sit down. You have to sit down. You cannot judge fights anymore, or at least take 6 months to a year off and explain how you got that scorecard and then go back into training because you're playing with people's livelihoods. Come on, man. 114-113? Where? What fight? 114-113 where? Mike Fitzgerald. I don't know him, but he has to sit down. You can change somebody's career with a bad decision.
And the new welcome to the welterweights. How does that feel?
First off, I want to say alhamdulillah. Allah is the greatest. Allahu Akbar. He's the best of planners. In 2024, I lost everything. Everything came crashing on me. In 2025, I came to get it back. In 2026, I'm coming for everything.
And you're definitely making.
Come on, y'all. I'm talking about the Devin Haney, Brian Norman fight. Y'all got to tap in. Come on.
Let's talk about that second round. You had him, and then all of a sudden, the wave started changing. Even though you dominated.
Mickey Bay had my boy looking good, man. Mickey Bay, shout out Cleveland.
He came out exactly how we planned.
Shout out Cleveland.
And so I was able to capitalize. But after I heard him and dropped him, he made an adjustment. So then we had
114-113 is crazy.
But he's a true champion. He's definitely better than I expected. But I give him credit for it. And I thank him for the opportunity, giving me the opportunity to become champion again.
You just said he surprised you. What surprised about him? What was different? What was new?
Well, like I said, we trained for how he came out initially.
Hey man, y'all stop calling me uncle here. Thank you.
Like champions are supposed to. So we readjusted and we backed up those rounds.
We mentioned before.
Y'all stop calling me uncle.
You've been dominant in 2 divisions, and now this is your 3rd division. So is 147 where you feel the best?
Yeah, of course. 147 is a weight class that I was supposed to be at.
Y'all keep talking about this Victor Conte stuff with Haney. As long as he passing the test, man, leave that man alone.
It was just so much at stake at 135 and 140, but I'm here to stay at 147 for a long time.
Well, look, as everybody see, the guy was tough, but Bam performed. He had a, fight smart, took his time, and when the right punch came, it was out.
He said he didn't think he was going to knock him out. Did you think that knockout was coming?
Well, look, I seen Puma fading a little in the last few rounds. So I told him, if you press, you could probably stop him. But he was also being patient because Puma was still being dangerous. So he took his time, and but the right counter, it was perfect the way it came. And he just landed that left and knocked him out.
The road to Undisputed is clear now. Hearn couldn't wait to talk about it. How do you train your fighter to get ready to be an undisputed champion, and what is the challenge ahead of him next?
Well, look, undisputed. Only very few boxers can say they've been undisputed. So he'll be another one. He's excited about it. He's ready to go. It doesn't matter who it is. I know the champion's fighting in December, so whoever wins, we're ready for him.
The last one, Robert. You've trained so many champions, so many great talents. What is special and different about Bam Rodriguez?
The kid's special, man. He's dedicated. He's focused. He knows how good he is, and he's the most dedicated kid in the gym. He follows instructions exactly the way it is.
With the sequence of punches that produced that knockdown, what did you think, and why kind of your son allowed that to happen?
I don't think it's really an allow it to happen. I don't think he really allowed it to happen. Right. I mean, I like to give credit to the other fighter because there's 2 in the ring. Like I said, it takes 2. So the other fighter can create that kind of situation and make it happen or whatever else. And he found a good shot. It's boxing. Anybody can get hurt. Anybody can get clipped. I always say it. He got clipped, and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So, I just credit it to Devin Haney being a good fighter, whatever else, and maybe putting a combination together to produce that situation.
Robert Garcia, with the stature and command of an old-time trainer and former champion, was giving a cautious opinion of the impending battle of Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. He observed that the game had the elements of a fun game, the type that will ensure the audience is entertained till the final whistle.
Hey Robert, real quick, there's a big fight coming up in a couple of weeks, Haney and Norman Jr. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Oh, that's right. It's going to be over there in Saturday with us.
Yeah.
You forget. That's going to be a good fight. Haney's a great boxer, man. I think he's going to try to win by decision. And I know. I faced what's his name?
Norman.
Norman. He's strong. I heard. I was there. I heard those punches. He's strong. But I don't think Haney's going to stand to any change. I think Haney's going to box and try to pull off a decision.
Before Devin Haney's confrontation with Brian Norman Jr., Eddie Hearn voiced sincere concerns about the dangers posed by Norman's strength and aggression. Despite Haney's great skill and experience, Hearn emphasized that he will confront a risky opponent in the ring.
What Devin are we going to get after the Ramirez fight? I mean, he was gun-shy in that fight, but he boxed to orders. But I think him and I think Bill for sure are concerned about Devin getting hit and getting hit hard. And if they get hit hard by Brian Norman, I think it was a really good thing that he had the Ramirez fight going into this fight, because I think if this was the fight that he chose after the Ryan Garcia fight, I think it would have been a tough night's work. But I think he'll just be technically too sharp, and I think he'll win a points decision.
The promoter emphasized the significance of Haney going into the fight fully prepared, focused, and prepared to adjust under pressure, pointing out that Norman's relentless style and punching strength make this one of the riskier matchups of Haney's career.
Yeah, but Norman's dangerous, and if he can let his hands go and get his feet in position, I think he's got a real chance.
Do you think we see a Ramirez type fight then?
Probably, but not as I think it would be very difficult for Devin to fight like that again and expect to get another job.
There was some weight to the night where Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. were walking out under the lights, and the air was full of anticipation following weeks of building up hype. Tim Bradley contributed with the opinion of a person who is passing through the fighter life. He clarified that he leaned towards Brian Norman Jr. as the man who would emerge victorious, yet he also realized that Devin Haney had demonstrated improvement. Bradley said that he knew what Haney was talking about during recent interviews, especially the concept of learning through his mistakes and honing his craft.
I still got Norman, but I can tell. Look, just from what you said, right, about Haney and what he's talking about, like I can relate, to him getting better and in a sense, because you learn from your mistakes. I mean, any smart fighter, that really cares about their career. And
Bradley went ahead to indicate that Devin Haney had a long way to go in his career. A young and immature fighter, according to him, Haney would inherently learn lessons from his previous failures, particularly the one with Ryan Garcia, and apply them to perfect his strategy. However, he reverted the attention to Brian Norman Jr., observing that the talk on the left hook of Norman had gone too small.
Haney's young, man. He's young, and so he's going to learn from his experience, from the past, especially from the Ryan fight. But I'll say this, like, everybody's talking about the left hook of Norman Jr. I think they got to worry about more than just the left hook.
The whole pre-fight hype had been on whether the young challenger was capable of matching the discipline and ring intelligence of Haney, but the vibe in the arena was that there was a competitive fight going on that was much more competitive than it was supposed to be. Acknowledging Teddy Atlas's confidence in Haney before the game was crucial. Regarding Haney's skill set, Atlas stated unequivocally that there was no question about the resources he offered. He believed that the true question was not whether Haney was capable, but rather how well he would use those advantages against Brian Norman Jr. There wouldn't be much in Haney's way on fight night if he used his entire arsenal with purpose and accuracy. Atlas stressed.
It's going to be the Haney that counterpunches, the Haney that makes you reach, the Haney that, gets you to do what he wants you to do, the Haney that's elusive, the Haney that can give you angles. If it's that Haney, he wins a decision over Norman. Now listen, there's danger all night in this fight. There's danger for Norman to get to Haney.
Greg Hackett was open about what he thought Devin Haney needed to face before entering the ring. He claimed that Haney would need to examine himself and make a decision if he really wanted to respond to the inquiries people kept making about him. This would be necessary not only to win, but also to give a performance that demonstrated an additional degree of urgency.
Is trying to prove that he one of the best in the world, and he trying to show that he can fight at that level. You know what I mean? Because that's the only thing missing from his career. He's done a lot of things, you know what I mean, with a short time, but we haven't seen him at that level yet. You know what I mean? He's done some great things, but just not that level.
According to Hackett, there were equally high expectations for Brian Norman Jr. He clarified that supporters wanted Norman to keep doing what had gotten him this far, which was to hurt opponents, exert pressure, and create dramatic moments that kept his name in the news. Hackett pointed out that the matchup was exciting because of that reputation.
He got to really dig deep in his soul and say to himself, not only do I want to win, I want to put on the show, which means he got to put his hands on Brian Norman. You know what I mean? If not, it's going to be just one of those times where, you know, Devin Haney he could box him and win. He could box him and win. But we want to see Dev really, you know, step on the gas. Norman, we want to see him do what he's been doing, push out. You know what I'm saying? So
that anticipation was right when the opening bell rang, and it prepared the way for a tense and careful conflict that transformed itself into a complete tactical spectacle. When discussing the bout, Jeff Mayweather took a different stance, characterizing Brian Norman Jr. as a hungry young fighter ready to take advantage of every opportunity and make his presence impossible to ignore. He likened Norman's mindset to that of a rising predator, someone who is determined to establish his dominance on the biggest stage.
You know, I mean, the one thing is this. Devin has fought better fighters than Norman has. Norman, he's new on the scene, and he's young, and he's probably hungry and everything. I mean, all those things, you know, is what a young champion is supposed to have. But at the end of the day, your experience also matters.
With his jab delivered in time, Haney took the initiative, dictated the range with a calculated stride, and demanded that the exchange would remain clean. But Norman Jr. answered with surprising calmness. He was not going to be carried away by the beat of the champion. He was a punched man, particularly to the body, and he had confidence that pushed Haney to the alert. When talking about the fight, Showbiz the Adult expressed genuine worry, stating that it carried the kind of risk that could ruin a career. He admitted he felt uneasy about what Devin Haney might face once the bell rang, stressing that Norman's power, aggression, and mindset made him a serious threat.
Before I talk about the punch that can end Devin Haney's career, when looking at the tape for both Brian Norman and Devin Haney, I looked at both of their last fights very closely, and I looked at Devin Haney jab against Ramirez. I didn't want to watch that fight again because the fight was so boring. I watched that fight, shit ain't changed. Bow arrow effect at its best.
In his view, the risk level in this matchup was far higher than many fans realized, and that fear came from a place of understanding how quickly a single night can reshape a fighter's future.
And here's the punch that can end Devin Haney's career. Check this out.
And I'm not going to keep beating the horn at me. He's winning. Beating the horn at me. He's winning. I just think, Haney.
Shocking. He shot by Norman.
Falcon punch! The Mexican monster David Benavidez expressed his opinions on the forthcoming match between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. with sincere excitement. He characterized Norman as a heavy-handed, cunning fighter who brought danger and intelligence to every encounter.
That's going to be a great fight. That's a great matchup. You know, you got the reigning defending champion. He doesn't want to let Devin Haney go in there and take the championship from him. So he has that on his side. You know, he's a strong puncher. You know, he's a slick fighter too, Brian Norman. But I just think Devin Haney, you know, he's fought better opposition. You know, I think him going up to 147 is going to help him. I think he's going to be stronger. I think he's going to be faster. And, you know, I ultimately got Devin Haney winning, you know, but it's still a dangerous fight until it ends. You know, Brian Norman has a lot of power in his hands.
Benavidez predicted that Haney would win the fight in the end, but he warned that it would not be an easy feat. He underlined that Haney would need to maintain discipline and awareness throughout the fight because Norman's punching power made him a threat from beginning to end.
But also the fight with Bam Bam Rodriguez and Pantera, I think
Bam Bam Rodriguez, I think he wins that fight. Bam Bam Rodriguez, you know, he's pound for pound fighter, so I think he definitely goes in there, he does his thing. And also, I think Abdullah Mason goes in there, and I think he's going to get a great victory too. You know what I mean? He's a great prospect coming up. You know, I've enjoyed watching his fights.
Anthony Cuba gave a cool-headed assessment of the game, characterizing it as a fairly balanced contest. He underlined that how each fighter approaches the fight will determine the outcome, which could go either way. He specifically emphasized Haney's duty to carry out a cunning strategy, adapt to Norman's pressure, and successfully control the tempo. Cuba claims that Haney's strategy, poise, and capacity to manage the intensity inside the ring will be crucial to the outcome.
Who do you got for Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. quickly approaching?
That's a good fight. Really good fight. I would say that one's also 50-50. Brian Norman, he's a champion. He's strong, very strong. Haney's very, very fast, a great boxer, but it depends on how Haney keeps the fight. Because if Haney goes in and tries to brawl with Norman, I think Norman will take it 100%. If Haney could keep him on the outside and doesn't get clipped or nothing, then I think Haney would take it. So it just all depends on how Haney dictates the fight.
After an electrifying battle between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr., fans were treated to non-stop action from the opening bell. Every round offered high-stakes exchanges, with Haney's speed and ring IQ tested by Norman's relentless power. The fight delivered on its hype, leaving viewers debating the defining moments of the night. Which sequence stood out most to you, the slick counters of Haney or the punishing shots of Norman? Share your thoughts, relive the highlights, and stay tuned for more post-fight analysis and breakdowns from this unforgettable showdown.